Okay, let's just put it cooperate. There we go. We have audio. I'll be honest, we're not likely to be streaming too much longer. I'm going to try to get into Leviathan. We have a wave of thunderstorms coming in. And I'll be honest, if that starts up, we're getting off. We don't want to risk frying our hardware. Surge protectors and everything's only so far. Wait a minute. I might have double tapped it. I'm just wondering, just curiosity, how 3 companies left them. We're almost 9.
There used to be a hamlet beyond South Tidegate in western Lanosha. Hearthstone, it was called. Some years prior to the Maelstrom's founding, Leviathan rose from the briny depths and set about unleashing watery hell upon us. On that occasion, the Company of Heroes put him down before he could do too much damage. But when the bastard came next, this time in the wake of the calamity, we were not so fortunate. Weary of ravaging our shoreline, he summoned a tidal wave which fair leveled Hearthstone and washed the soil away for good measure.
The area was subsequently occupied by the Sahagin.
Aye, the thrice-damned creatures transformed it into a spawning ground for their brood. Given the quantity of crystals stolen to feed him and his legion of thralls, we can be fairly sure that Leviathan is stronger now than in his previous incarnations.
Since it's another stream, should you have to redo your thing again?
Technically, I will.
If that sea demon is left to wreak havoc, what befell Hearthstone may well befall a larger settlement, even Limsa. That cannot happen. The primal must be stopped.
That was ever our objective, Admiral. But how are we to achieve it? The sea is Leviathan's uncontested domain. The ships of the 3rd Squadron could not close to within 100 yards of the primal, nor could their cannons pierce his defenses.
I have read the reports, Master Thancred. Our warships may as well have been bloody pleasure barges for all the good they did. 7 hells! Is there no way that we might strike back?
The Company of Heroes defeated Leviathan, having first lured him into an inlet, but we must needs contend with him upon the open sea. It will avail us little to consult past experience.
Admiral, if I may.
Speak freely, Marshal.
By all accounts, Leviathan's most formidable weapon is the very sea itself. Waves and whirlpools, tides and currents, all these things are his to command. The key to victory, I believe, lies in disarming our foe. This, in effect, is what the Company of Heroes achieved with their ruse. We cannot lure Leviathan from the sea a second time. But what if we could weaken his hold upon the element of water? I have heard of devices capable of such wonders. They draw upon the power of corrupted crystals, I am told. If mounted upon a ship, such a device might be used to prevent Leviathan from bringing the full force of the sea to bear against us, rendering him no more dangerous than any other sea serpent.
Of course! Sid built a similar device to grant the Enterprise safe passage through Garuda's Tempest, did he not?
Begging your pardon, my lady, but to give credit where it's due, this is something I heard from an old arcanist friend of mine.
It makes little difference who thought of it first, so long as it works. Beg the specifications of this device from your friend, and I shall pass them on to our people at Naldic and Vermelis. But before we proceed any further, I would voice one concern. Piercing Garuda's defenses is one thing. Suppressing Leviathan's attacks, quite another. In matters of science, I am as a babbling babe. But I cannot well imagine that such a feat would be possible without a veritable mountain of corrupted crystals. The question being, do we have a ship big enough to bear such a burden?
Mayhap not, Admiral, but two might. Recall you the tale of Mistbeard's greatest haul? It is said that he lashed two ships
Mistbeard's
together,
greatest haul,
side by
yes.
side, the better
The
to
irony,
bear his
the
plunder.
last one who wore the mantle of Mistbeard is the one saying it.
By your leave, we might attempt to repeat the trick. The gods know it would be quicker than building a new vessel.
Mistbeard did this. Truly, Marshal, upon the subject of the Pirate King, you are as a scholar.
The fact of her sarcasm with the dialogue recording, too. Knows I know exactly what you were, old friend.
Now,
And the look he
from what
gives.
I have gleaned of these matters, the device will need to be in close and constant proximity to the target. To wit, we must lash our twin vessel to Leviathan. This in itself will be no small feat. Ramming speed will be required, but given the weight of the cargo, that will only be attainable with the aid of a towing vessel. Suffice it to say, the task of piloting said vessel will entail considerable danger, and I would not ask it of another. I volunteer myself.
I love the fact of the one
Will be
flying
dangerous
a
for
tow
all
vessel
involved,
because of the
but we have
danger.
no better
He insists
recourse.
to do it himself.
Very well.
I appreciate that. I'll make commanders will say that. Even in fiction.
States, not many.
Like I said, even in fiction.
Commodore, assemble the remnants of the fleet at Morabie Bay. Give priority to our soundest vessels. The repairs can wait. Storm Marshal Slafierson, command of the operation is yours. I want that twin vessel ready to sail post-haste.
At once, Admiral.
Thing is, the look you give him, it
And
does
then there is
go
the
into
small
the
matter
appearance
of
of you've already
slaying
done
the
that
beast.
mission.
The fate of Limsa rests upon your shoulders once again. Go well, warrior of light.
Okay, so yeah, that's why we didn't know Rabana. was literally made for Heavensward.
Okay. Now, should I take a screenshot of the Leviathon name to make sure I can spell it right?
That's up to you.
It's something me and Crimson have discussed a couple times as a piece of sarcasm. Partially to see if the name's taken. And it's a joke of Titus Leviathon. And make sure he has the earthen tones and the water tones. It's just, what class would I make him?
Well, the guy that says it is a so-called marauder.
Is he one I should suffer through as a tank?
It's up to you. You don't want to play.
What's up, huh? I don't have it set up so I can, but I'll mute it for the moment. Okay. I apologize for that, everybody. It's just my wife needs to communicate some news to me. Not the best, not good news at all, but it's what it is. Yeah, I would have spelled that wrong. Make sure that came up clear enough where I can read it. The fact that he admits his member's tiny is pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the dialogue is just horrible for some of this. That's not accurate. I'm sorry, I'm not going to fast travel when I can fly it fairly quickly. Especially when it's in the south end of the same zone. I don't know if you have to get the crystals for this or not.
I don't think so.
I love the word gate, but I would mention that ship is nigh unsinkable, but I'm not one to tempt fate. Yeah, it's not the Titanic if I've ever seen one. I like the wording. The world leader may not be pretty, but I assure you that she's capable. Where's the life for the woman who made a sport of slaying gods? Some of the... Up on my own rules, I'm going into Black Mage to sign up for this. And I'll be honest, just for shits and giggles, I will sign up for the other two I need to do of the extremes. Well, that's going. I might as well. Just debating. Because I know this could take a couple minutes. Should I just head over to Udon and start the gold saucer stuff?
Sure. Sorry, there's an NPC out here for a fate. Brutus thick arms. Come, Brutus does not bite unless asked. Literally, there's a ... unless asked.
Come on, we know in the mail stuff there's the scandal between two privates who are twin sisters and their commander.
Oh, yeah. Sapphire eyes and ruby eyes?
Yeah. They're adorable.
But this bothers me.
I know.
I'm glad I was up in the air. Actually didn't see the guy.
Well, the other option is, while waiting and suffering, I could do Hildebrand.
That might be the better option. Start chipping some of that stuff away.
The rise and fall of gentlemen.
He should have just stayed fallen.
Yes, I've heard of him. I'd rather not hear of him again. So I'm going to Camp Drybone. I am definitely glutton for punishment.
Liz, a bunch of these are almost ready for me to go in, but I really want to wait it out.
For what?
I just unlocked the striking tree, but the 4 that I have in lineup, some of them are down to 3. We'll need to sign up for it.
So it's kind of a wash.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Is I don't know which one it's going to be, and that's on the list. I'm kind of nervous. Thorn March Extreme, Hagel Extreme, then he strolls down and owns one thing, you get Earth Spell. It's not a good combo for stuff that's on the tree.
Not really.
Without being able to tell which one the countdown's actually pulled. Until it actually goes to get in. grab it without screaming?
I'm about to have to skip to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to skip so I can get in. Basically, it's saying that he was a dumbass and got thrown into the sky to fight Bahamut and somehow survived it. I'll admit, it, like he said, it is an ugly ass ship they came up with.
Also, isn't really what they described.
Oh, it not being well built?
Actually, two ships lashed together, and
It's a bit more complicated than that with that platform that's built, but you can see where there are the two ships that are in cinematic. They just like took off the whole mass system of the two ships.
you know that turtle don't like feet. The guy has a nose, and it doesn't bite him. It like tucks its head in and slams his shell into his feet.
So it's playing.
But it's only feet.
I just gotta remember if I have to hit the head or tail being Black Mage.
Head. They all look like
And I'm sure I'm upsetting people by watching the cinematic. Good fishy. Is it bad? I'm going to place myself in the middle of the city phone so I don't forget to run back there. A little bit. I'm not the only caster doing what I'm doing, though. We're all getting into that safe zone. That's kind of funny when you think about it. Have that get in here. Is it bad? I think I remember the screen more than I remember the normal for this thing. That was. I think he was a tank, but he was epic with his bullshit.
I didn't die.
Yep.
Never do that again.
No, that was a healer we had that happen with. Because the dots finished off whatever boss that was. Somebody activated early. I know what happened. Somebody turned that shit on early. The barrier didn't come up ready. it is kind of sad when it's just one person taking on the tail. That happens. Us being the only one. Let's go one life on my second plane. Somebody's out from the brick. I can't help them. I will battles, so. Who's still in here? I'll give one to healers. They all did fairly good. Alright, I got a commendation out of it, so. When's I do love that the gatekeeper for the Admiral's office is doing it. I'm going to do a little more than proper, but it's an honor to let in someone such as you.
We Lominsons are sworn to strive, till sea swallows all. And swallow all it would have had Leviathan prevailed. That we still strive now, we owe in no small part to you. Not for the first time, you have delivered Limsa Lominsa from the wrath of a primal. Never has our nation known a stouter ally. On behalf of my people, I give you my humblest thanks. 'Tis meet that I give thanks to old Mistbeard, too, for his fine solution. Whatever else he may have been, 'tis clear he was a resourceful soul. Would that I had a man like him in my service.
Yeah,
Before I
knowing the
set
secret
foot
about
in these
Miss Beard,
lands,
it's kind
I
of
had
dead
no
obvious that,
inkling
yeah, she
that
knows.
the people of Eorzea contended with such mighty foes. Suffice it to say, their existence came as something of a shock, as did the idea that they could be defeated. This experience has served to remind me of the vastness of the world, and the boundless potential of man. Though I am but a refugee in this realm, I would fain be of use to you in your fight. Know that I am tutored in one of the foremost combat arts of the Far East. It may seem outlandish to the Eorzean eye, but should any of your people care to learn, I would be pleased to initiate them.
And I will see to it that they are grateful. I have no doubt that your knowledge and skills will serve us well. Besides, your art is not so outlandish as you think. Would you not agree, Master Thancred?
Naught escapes your searching eye, Admiral. Few are privy to this information, but Limsa Lominsa is home to a certain secret fraternity. Its members are trained in a form of combat not unlike your own. By my judgment, it should not be beyond such individuals to adapt to the techniques I witnessed you employing with such admirable deftness.
I am heartened to hear this. I too noted a kinship between your style and mine own. though it seemed to me that you fought differently in the beginning.
I suppose I did. What can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
Though you may labor to believe it, Thancred was once something of a scoundrel who fraternized with the criminal class in these parts.
Yestola! You jest, of course.
But for a chance encounter with Alphino's grandsire, he might never have left Limsa Lominsa, or received an education in Sharlayan, or taken up his post in Uldar, which is where he trained in the blade, lest you wonder.
Minfilia, please!
Pretty much showing that, yeah, Thancred was a pirate.
It would seem there is more to you than meets the eye, Master Thancred.
Lady Yugiri, I am told that you and yours came to Eorzea seeking permanent resettlement, and that many domins have since been engaged as frontier hands at Revenant's Toll. Moderna is many things, but a place of refuge it is not. Know that I would like nothing better than to furnish your people with a new home here on Lominsan soil. Alas, racked by instability as we are, our nation is in no fit state to take you in. Yet I'll not have it said that we turned a blind eye to your suffering. Until such time as we can do more, I pledge to send provisions.
We are in your debt, Admiral. I realize that it scarce qualifies as repayment, but if it please you, I shall set about sharing my martial knowledge with your people at once.
You wished a word in private.
The better not to spoil the festive mood. History repeats itself, Admiral. As the kobolds did before them, the Sahagin resorted to summoning their god over a territorial feud. They acted in self-preservation. It may be that the Sahagin initiated this particular clash, but how it begins does not interest me so much as how it ends.
I have not forgotten our conversation, Y'ashtola. I am aware that man bears part of the blame for the Primal's existence. Nor am I ignorant of the Sahagin's reason for acting. They sought to secure a place to breed and multiply that their kind might survive. Self-preservation, as you say. But we have as much right to live and thrive as they. If our own survival is threatened, are we to lay down our arms and welcome oblivion? Nay.
And so you kill, that you might live. Yet if living is a right, then that right belongs to all peoples, be they men or beastmen.
And I understand Y'shtola's
I'll not deny your reasoning.
interpretation.
But when a
Because, no
storm
offense to
gathers, it
Miote,
falls
feel
to
like a
me to
form
see
of
my
beast tribe
people
that's just
safely through
more
it.
civilized.
That is my duty, and I shall do it.
As must we all, Admiral. Stay the course, then. But know that it will lead to no good end.
But I agree with the duality of the situation.
I love it.
Man has
Oh,
ever put himself first and
Well, hard
foremost.
isn't too bad. It's when you get into extreme.
To justify his actions,
that wasn't
he
bad.
clads
That was
himself in the
well
armor of
balanced.
righteousness, though it be a fancy of his own making. In this, mayhap the Garleans and we Domans are not so different.
Eorzea has become as a raging sea, If we are to keep our heads above the waves, we cannot scruple to drown the man next to us. When hopes of coexistence founder, strength must determine who has the greater right to live.
Now what I am going to do for the slim chance is I'm going to keep myself going on the Thorn March and Ember Extreme.
Wait, what?
Well,
I knocked him out of Rolling Thunder.
you can.
I just did. You can stop him from doing Rolling Thunder.
At least that's the standard.
Yeah.
That's good
Because
to
he did
know.
not get it off.
That is good to know. When I got
What?
in fact, sometimes I realize I went to Duty Finder as Paladin again. If I slipped and didn't get reset in that amount of time, I wouldn't throw a fit. At least not too much of one. Oh, one of them has a full DPS lineup ready. And honestly, when I talk about some of the hard fights, it's full of Embers and Thorn March. And it's because of how hard they are that I'm not going to complain if I manage to get in while on stream.
I'm sorry, if we pull this off first try,
Even on hard.
usually you have a good fight with Rum.
Even on hard, yeah. We've been lucky the last several dungeons.
What the hell?
You made it?
Made it? I got 2 commendations from it. Despite dropping. Because I got dropped trying to take care of some of the orb before he did a big lightning attack.
It just, I have a suspicion past level 50 for the ninja, you start training with Yugiri directly. Because that's what it feels like, because it talks about her training the Rogue Guild.
One of these only has 2 holding.
So back to Rising Stones, so... what I will do at some point is check if I have access to the. No, it's. I don't know if you get access to Extreme Leviathan before you finish Ifrit or not.
No, you gotta get through all the extremes.
I think I gotta get through the others first. I am checking just in case. No, Tataru's just talking. It's something I've been checking every time. I love the Yozen kids are playing in here now, though.
I love that. Half the time I have freaking Thamfred pointing at Philemon or whatever her name is with a freaking bottle of wine in his hand. Looking drunk off his ass.
I wish I could argue that. I've seen it enough times on your screen.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please,
It's just as
bear
hard as
with
I
me.
remember, but with what they had altered, it's not as hard to handle. If that
When the
makes any
Sahagin
sense.
Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing.
Somebody
When
had
the
been
Admiral
waiting
subsequently slew
in a
him,
queue for that
his
for an
spirit
hour.
emerged from his lifeless flesh,
The other night, I
a
was in queue
consciousness
for some of
shorn
these
of
for an
physical
hour and a
form.
half.
Thus
And
transfigured,
still didn't get
he
in.
took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul, but never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh,
Okay,
no
they're
less
good-
that our souls
they're
could
good
then
healers, I know
occupy
they're
the
healers.
next corporeal vessel to
Don't
take our
know
fancy.
BTS with names.
It was of this that Elidibus spoke, an existence which knows neither
But
cessation
Valvitia
nor
and
oblivion.
Belvane are very good healers.
And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both
yes,
bore
that's
witness,
right.
he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed. There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale, yet recent events have given me cause to wonder, could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time.
No, Brian, I don't have Wheel of Time on good old games. I had the old
For the
version
present,
on
however, what
CD
matters
back
is
in the
that the
day.
key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight. With Urianger's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long. Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings
Oh
from the
god,
Shylian
somebody's
motherland,
asking if
my
this
lady.
is different than normal.
It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldessian.
What of them?
It looked like from what I'm seeing, it's just going to be $9.99, Brian.
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be.
I appreciate the heads up.
'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
12 preserve.
No, we need the tanks to take out the orbs, not have the healer not understand what's going on and try and do it themselves.
If no one else is doing it, there's a different problem.
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
Because if we don't hit them, it's white, but that's not good.
Yeah.
It is done, my lord. Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
Okay. That one went a bit better. Wait, why?
Mhm.
Oh no, we lost tanks.
For the Ultima's Bane, that's not a bad first attempt.
We still have a healer that's trying to get you guys up. Never mind. We got him down to the last quarter.
Which is not a bad first attempt.
You either have a group share the damage of the orbs, you have tank pop their big go around. Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, that's the problem about helping some refugees and not helping others.
Oh yes, I could see nothing. There was full whiteout.
Some of those effects, yeah.
Oh.
It's where it gets hard sometimes. And again, I'm checking Tatar. I'm now in the third content post main game leading into Heavensward.
I'm figuring with the next credits we hit, I'll end up grabbing Machinist once we're up in Ishgard.
Yeah, because one you've never
As the
done.
next class.
Yeah.
The problem being is he's doing huge attacks at the moment with Ifrit. And that's what's getting us to one.
Yeah. But people haven't be in the wrong alignment when he does it.
Because it's so hard to keep track of where he's gonna drop. Okay, that worked, that worked.
Oh god, one of the bards trying to just spam a move kept managing to hit Peloton. That was one. But we got them down, and we still have both healers, we still have both tanks, just 2 of the DPS went down.
That's not bad.
But that worked, because that was the big set of them that wiped us last time. Oh shit, I'm gonna, oh, did I not die? That's another magic bit out. Not looking bad. I just got hit by 2 of them. And one of them managed to get it. That was a full wipe.
Looks like it was closer for second attempt.
Oh,
though.
it was a lot. Brilliantly. But we managed to not get to the last set of the corpses.
It's hard. Sometimes, however bad I have to say it, the DPS has to sacrifice.
I was trying to resist.
Getting there in time when you realize something's wrong.
It's just I managed to get hit with 2 of them. With the way they were moving. So I went down pretty damn quick.
Yeah, not much chance for the healers to help you when that goes down.
Yeah. We're not doing that. We are making definite improvement each time.
And people aren't dropping out from most of it. So.
No. Okay, let's root out.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life.
I'm okay with this one being that one.
That and Odin.
To an Ul'dah, money is the foremost.
And honestly, when I married
and
to
some would
Odin,
say
it was
the
only 2
only
attempts
measure of
on
a man's
Odin.
worth.
Impressive.
Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence.
Yeah.
So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity?
Seriously?
Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dah way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Uldans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. and you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest. Nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence.
That seems to be keeping us alive. Not like we have
That the
dragons
immortal
that
flames should
front.
choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training
Well,
exercises
two
with the other
guards, a
grand
red mage,
companies.
me,
By
two
the time they
paladins,
return, the
scholar,
situation may well have
and a
deteriorated
sage.
beyond mending.
Yeah, this isn't the greatest team for this.
It's not doing bad though.
We're not doing bad at all. We're just,
Struggle.
yeah. Got it. Sweet. Our poor lonesome red mage. Okay, we did it. We got past that round of the orbs.
You got past that way of the orbs, you got a good chance. So, I'll be honest, I'm half looking at the smaller window on the capture screen. So
Oh, you actually have it running? I didn't think you got that fixed in it. I agree with when they did the limit break. Oh, yeah, I forgot there was movement. Worth the 1 hour wait.
Honestly, that was a quick run of that.
Yeah.
Really.
That's actually really good. He's trying to just have a timeout and have D&D.
You want to salute?
He wants the loot. He is not doing the
Roll.
roll because he's expecting me to leave because I'm not going to wait 200 seconds. I'm going to wait the 200 seconds to piss him off.
I've done it before. I do it all the time. That's actually how I got the horse.
But he's waiting it
Because
out.
he got impatient. The other one got impatient.
Just double check that I actually rolled for it. Not it. Okay, so he finally rolled.
Did you get or did he?
He got it. But when he finally rolled, I think he's being impatient on me.
Well, I've almost commented before. If I have all day. And that's not being a dick. That's just being
Sing me
honest.
another song. Dungeon requirements second Boil of Bahamut.
Yeah.
We're not doing Boils of Bahamut tonight.
Since we've never done them.
first turn?
Technically, I could too. It's just
I'm thinking it. 1 to 8 player.
1 to 8.
It literally says 1 to 8 player, 2 tanks, 2 healers, 4 DPS. Average item level 70.
Are you saying I do adjust my stuff to join you?
Yes. And if you have a mission you need to do for storyline, go ahead and take it. Oh, you didn't party up.
Well, I can party us up.
I thought that'd make it easier so we could. That's why I didn't click into it.
I just back out. Give me a moment. I just need to. I'll just switch back to Black Mage for that. Now, is there any of them otherwise you were trying to get?
Naval, Extreme, and Earth's Mount are the other 2 I had for missions.
I'd have no inhibition of what says one of them or not. Oh, duh. I noted it. What the problem is. You're not ready for Bowl of Embers Extreme. So I'll take that off the list for now.
Sorry.
It's alright. Means for the moment I'll go back to Paladin to work on this questing.
I'm playing and looking pissing everybody off the boils. We're watching cutscenes.
Mm-hmm. We've never done the coils, so. And no clue which one we'll get into.
No idea. It's still a scary list. Just scares me that Sing Me Another Song needs the 2nd rank.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea what it pertains, so.
What it entails. Did you ever do your new minion?
Yes, I did.
What did you get?
The Pudgy Puck. It's called a Pudgy Puck.
Is it a fat hockey puck?
It's a fat bug-like thing with wings. It's kind of in the shadows right now because where I'm at.
Oh, it's that thing.
Yep.
And I'm running around with Ravana.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's messed up. And he's hacking into my back with his Naginata. And I noticed with the minion, he's cycling between a Naginata and his 4 swords.
Hmm.
I don't remember him having a Naginata. In fight.
Maybe part of the harder form?
Maybe. But yeah, he's cycling between. I might just be not remembering the move because he seems to be pulling the 4 swords out of the Naginata with him switching between, but that might be the way they animated it.
That could be.
So, over to...
Overlooked. There's... I'm still going through storyline otherwise, so...
Ew.
Okay, trying to stop all the Negan refugees, and I'm flying in on the Magitech. That's not the best choice, but it was random. Quick so I can bullshit. I'm out of combat. Just means I'll have to re-clear some of that fight again, but
this I'm not worried about the cutscene of.
I've done it in stream before, so in here. The two of us in here, we know this isn't going to be It's sad to say it like that. And that's why I was standing right behind him, because he always seems to do that. I need to bring out my zoom.
I can double check mine.
Honestly, he's progressing still.
Or that's what we got here. There's no repeats.
It looks like everybody knows what they're doing too. Nobody's really taking excessive bonus damage. Okay, I was standing in the sweet spot somehow.
They weren't glowing all
Yeah, this is hard now. We're just not going to stand chance to know which way you can end like this. Well, I'm in the grand count. This is where we gotta start worrying about more staying towards the middle, if I remember right. Don't start going up behind that shit like knock us out. My concern.
Yeah, that.
Is there an item you can get out of that one? set of those. We lost DPS, but it's still doable. And honestly, I don't know the Phoenix healer, but Jellybean is not a bad player. That was almost bad timing for me to get out of that.
I was trying to get out of it.
I'm hitting my heal, my barriers yet because I ain't gonna survive otherwise after that. That's before. Is everybody standing? Yeah. Not a bad run. Jellybean's still in there, I'll definitely give them that. Dark Knight Sword. You don't wager on those odds on greed. I got both of them.
But that wasn't bad timing.
No, that wasn't bad at all.
I still got a commendation.
I didn't. I got us back in for the Thornmarch Extreme Binding Coil and Earth Spawn.
Yeah.
I'll just run around as Black Mage for now, just in case that happens again. Or it comes in too quick.
Yeah. Even if it's projecting a little
Longer.
Was that Naval Extreme?
That was Naval Hard. What, did I trigger the wrong one?
You triggered the...
Sorry. Give me a moment, I'll fix the duty finder stuff. Sadly, I know they can't hit me enough standing here. God, I can say that in a minute. Yeah, no shit. Sorry. Most likely I just I'll be honest, since somebody went to help me, if they're going to start it, I'll wait to make sure. If they aren't going to engage, I'm just going to get going. Okay. I will do like some sort of respect, you know? Yeah, the odds are it's somebody trying to get their achievement for the rezzing, and I'm sorry, I don't drop that easy yesterday. And it's just hanging out out here. Maybe they're trying to help a guild member or something, I don't know. We've done it before, so we can't say much. Well, I had a message from somebody who just looking at something.
I'm just scrolling while I wait for stuff to clear since I'm kind of out of missions to do.
Hildebrand?
You realize what I finished on this account?
Picking on you.
Oh, great, now they're trying to convert.
Mm-hmm.
The people who have been harassing Cat, they just put up a thing on Facebook of, oh, one of our friends needs cataract surgery. It's $35,000. Can you guys help?
The cat?
No, just on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
On the Ren Fair page.
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing one of the four is at least all four tanks lined up.
Actually, be tempted to use that brand after that.
What I love with him tries to have no right to detain him. I am an Immortal Flames lieutenant on this character. We are in Uda, motherfucker. If anyone has the right to detain him,
sorry, there's a cosmetics company I'd consider using. Because they called out Amber Heard on her PS. This is the concealer palette I was using back when you used me in 2015. They didn't release the palette that she said she was using until 2017. So they called her out. Because the divorce happened 2016. The abuse happened a couple years before the divorce, supposedly. And she was using that palette.
So going, no.
Well, you're lying.
And thing is, if that comes into the courtroom, that'll be like, learn the one you said, oh, it's one of their make. I thought it was that one.
They specified specifically, her attorney held up the palette going, this is the palette that was in her purse to cover up the bruising.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, the entire palette was bruise tones.
Well, it's like a Halloween palette sort of thing.
Let's see if I can find the picture.
It was obviously bullshit.
Yeah.
I could have just ran in, but it's looking off.
Okay, that lower picture. Those are bruise tones.
Yeah, they are.
So she wasn't covering up the bruises.
She was putting them on. If that palette existed then.
If the palette existed then, which it didn't, because they released that in 2017, years after the claim of when she was using it.
Thing is,
She's digging her hole deeper and deeper.
considered they named the brand and everything in the courtroom.
They held it up. I'll admit I'm half looking at them.
Sad. The only reason I'm staying in Black Mage right now is all the crap I'm going through.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence.
No, they could be trying to imply it
Until a
was the
certain
same
incident
make and
served as a
brand.
call to arms.
But it was obvious that. Well, I was gonna say those screens weren't in any of her makeup, but those pictures that were shown the other day.
Sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
They took it down?
I'm not finding it.
They either took it down or it's been out of production.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated.
Basic stuff. Rosewater primer, that's $10. That's cheap.
Really?
For a US brand.
Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
I do appreciate that. They actually have
He walks
tab
a
where you
path
can
on
look
his
at the
own,
full ingredient list from the
independent of any
website.
faction and beholden
right.
to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
Yeah, that's rare.
Because I pulled up a sleep mask that they actually make that's an avocado.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
The only oils in it is sunflower and
Forgive
avocado.
me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
I know they're not favorite stuff that we have on the list, but jeez.
Pardon?
An Alagon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Alagon inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon, one which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Looks like I'm quickly approaching the Ramu battle he just finished. There you go. I'm going to switch to the paladin for hope of something I had claimed being better than what else wearing for a moment.
Thought he was getting a shot at tequila for free.
Mm-hmm.
This guy sent the big burly biker dude a shot of water.
Mm.
He was thanking him on the thumbs up. Hey man, I needed this. No, it's not tequila. It's not vodka. It's water.
And obviously the bartender thought it was funny as fuck. What's the point? We haven't gotten into any of those dungeons yet. Not that I'm really surprised on the Calls of Bahamut. Those are not popular, I know that. And then that comes a wash when I'm ready for the next go for Ramu. Should I stop the queue and add it in? Because I could reset our timers on those. I'm sorry, you are not Vanille. You have ears. Play right around with the name, the goddess Vanille. Don't get me wrong, I like Vanille in 13, I understand. the only reason I'm currently questing as Black Mage is for the dungeons.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the Sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided.
Yeah, I'll turn good for that.
Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a Primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, dear friend, I beseech you.
I know the
You
dialogue
have my
pretty much
thanks.
Yeah, I know I have a window in the middle this time, but just means when I come back out and restart it, I'll skip the cinematic. I'll let it show. Some people have never seen this fight because no one has backbone to try to do it twice. Well, fighting is you gotta pay money for his mount. No chance to get it from the fight. That horse is so loaded.
Not 8 legs.
The legend was 6 legs.
Not a version.
Most representations said 6.
There are some versions that describe slut here.
That is true. Remember when the spears spawn? Hit them. The ones that are targetable gotta be destroyed quickly or he gets off his
Later.
In fact, I'm saying on the other side of the field and still hitting them. I'm just trying to see what all we have. not a bad team. But it's not a bad squad. This is organized. Guy did 2 series in total. Don't know what's that. I was just checking myself. I can't think now. Make sure we're not overlapping anybody. Gun. And most idiots are still hitting over. Okay, there's still one more behind them. Not a bad first attempt. Thing is, Tagunir is also called those areas that you should. Just one of those attacks, when that one comes in, you can see it. When it happens on the target bar. Rather than some of them. I don't have to move one on the caster. him out of the field if anyone else. Damn, I dropped. I can't do much right now. Then the 3 of us down. No, that's not good odds against this. That
Down.
good. Okay. Oh, considering that's supposed to be one stallion?
Well, that's kind of obvious.
I don't remember if you'll do that attack twice. That I don't remember. Yep, second wave of gun here. Both hitting the same time. Yeah. I'm not gonna argue. Down one Miller.
That too.
Oh, dang. I think somebody used some of the break on a green here, and I can't blame them. It's a good tactic. It's a first step in the right direction. Oh shit. These random attacks took me down. In fact, the tanks and the healers are up. Still dropping. Not for about keeping everybody on. I'll accept. Oh, I forgot there was another round of these. Shit. I am not. The field effect killed me.
That's that move. Once he does that move, then
Take a mirror white. Why does it stop it?
No.
Okay.
When it does that attack, it's no.
I know there's no interruption. God knows who's trying. fairly close. It was not a bad run. But again, if those are taken out quick enough, you won't get it off. That's significant there. Starting to fire off, I'm triggering my mana. May not stop much, but I don't think he's stunnable at all. Yeah, what's up, the other one's back already? I'm sorry, I'm field examining with everything going on. I am a lot closer to him than I'd like to be. Making this time, we're about to have the third set if I'm wrong. They're a lot, but and that was 6 people. That was their first time with their characters.
Technically, I was one of them.
For this match. I'll give it to one of the healers that's still in here.
They were busting ass.
That was rough.
So much easier when we killed the swords. Yeah.
At least it's not like the old days where people threw a fit if you didn't watch tutorials on YouTube first on some of these hard fights. Because I remember people voting a kick on me in Thorn March for not watching a tutorial first. I reported them. Legitimately. I didn't get any commendations from it, but I didn't really expect it.
I feel like they all went to the healers.
The healers who were caught deserved it.
Okay, sweetie. go back to the
So I'll take Earthbound off. And that gets a little more.
Wow. Back to that knocked it down to 6 minutes rather than 20.
That may be just a lucky run with that. But I'll get over to Little Solus. So I can keep that progress. Yes, for once I skipped the cinematic, but I went through pretty much all but like the final dialogue before. And I don't want to go through all that again.
Did you get your Rama badge in yet or not?
I'm not quite to having him unlocked yet. I'm quickly approaching that.
Now, if that unlocked anything else for me, you already got it.
I don't think it does.
I'm gonna check what he says. I'm checking.
What's up? Just in case, yeah. I'm hitting wrong shit. Well, we buried a little bit. But part of it sometimes when they're not available. Yeah, and this is where, if this was still a non-flight zone, you'd be in a lot more trouble. I could just fly my way in, not worry about nothing. Yeah, this is one of my mounts that are a little bit of bragging rights to have. I set the wrong one.
Thine order betrays thee, servant of hiding.
around the ducks. Sorry, I'm messing with chips.
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and
We
Leviathan.
adopted out a leopard gecko the other day, and she has
I am
puppies, so she
Ramu,
had something in the long
guardian
run,
of the
but she
children of the
didn't
forest.
encounter for very long.
Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs?
That'd be a horrible flavor combo.
The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. That they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal. Shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady.
I kind of agree. You only hear of... Well, I'm even in most
I
England
must
does
beg
that.
thine aid on a point of research.
If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramu, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Sleipnir, Norse mythology, eight-legged horse ridden by Odin. Back to some of the old tapestries that we found. Alright, let's sit up quick. Make sure we're remembering right.
This freaking tree. And now, for my psychological torment, while we are waiting, I will be hanging this out down the line to continue. Somebody I'd like to be deleted from the franchise. I don't care for help. I'm trying to think. I think it's on the other account that you have This ain't gonna work. There's no way, even as the Black Mage, I'm gonna take out enough in 30 seconds. I'm just seeing what I can accomplish.
Zenzel, I have Shiva and Ramu.
Yeah, that sounds right. No, I gotta wait for this fate to return. Luckily, this fate usually comes back pretty quick. Well, it said participate in. Apparently, I didn't participate long enough. Agreed.
It is a color correction kit, though, that she was using. As evidence. Which, for some people's skin tones, it's easier to work from the base tones.
I'm just trying to figure out stuff. But the fate up here wasn't at short a time as it was when I arrived over here. I would have considered it. I'll be honest, if this doesn't pop back up in a moment, I'm going to end up. What date is this? Tempered. What I'm going to do for now is head over to Mordona. I'm going to start grabbing the stuff to get the progress in the alliance raids. Get that started for me. Which at one point this was required to continue storyline. I don't think it is anymore. Yeah, it's not that I'm going to stop the queue to add these in. It's more of I'll add them in once we're progressed if I get far enough into it. I said, these are dungeons I wouldn't have a problem running tank in. The Alliance raids.
You're not really tank them.
Hmm?
They're not really tank them.
They are to a limited extent. I hate them going after finding out my weapon. You're practically an archaeologist. I don't know if I agree with that assessment. But saying all this is because Sid started interfering. Sounds about right. Well, I'm going to skip the rest of it because it's about to fail. Basically, it shows that you got to get stuff to open the path, or it's going to incinerate you trying to go across the border. Basically what that cinematic said. I'm just not going to go back through the whole thing again. I've always loved your smell for this fight. And to think I have the game at 25% volume, it's always matching my volume and voice for this.
Running through.
And shows we're not quite synced. You can always tell when it's a group that's played the harder versions because they're still doing those stuff. water?
No.
That's the person next to me with the shot. Oh, the stuff is getting terrifying.
That time it wasn't enough.
Something I normally don't do. I figured I'm gonna break. That's what I was hoping. That's really good. And I know with launching through this, I'm probably gonna have most people run out before I can see. What's the matter? Well, you gotta look on your face for a moment.
Calling you back?
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light.
Make noise.
And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Assyrians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
But I will say, for the sake of our needs of some other fights, I will get us back into those queues.
But I think we're pretty good.
What I was going to try to do is see if this dialogue for this cinematic gets us back to Rising Sand, also Rising Stones. It's just, it's kind of nice going back, starting from a nexus point of storyline. But I agree after I get back to, because that's something that keeps happening. If you go back to Rising Stones, then you continue. I'm more than happy to do that. And as always, back to Verdania, do this. What's terrifying is we are saying an average of 6 minutes for the next thing, and I'm willing to bet that's likely to be the naval extreme.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramuh made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one, yet I fear that dream is still far off. on behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
If it's time to return to Moldoma, I'll leave the dialogue there and start the next mission. And then I think the stream will be done. Yeah, it's not that I have to have the Lexi Leg in the stream. Streams just, it is a fun storyline.
It would be nice to have it in stream because something that some people actually ignore.
Yeah.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'ashtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'ashtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
And now for the science lesson in the physics of the game world.
let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
They seem to have an interesting friendship.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
Depending on what he's drinking, he won't be standing there long.
True. He's a pirate. He should be able to handle his liquor.
Taro is still not doing things.
I still have no true explanation of what their true god is past Zodiac. And the last time I heard of Zodiac was 12. And the Tactics Advanced games. I will start this dialogue, but it's going to be the end of the stream.
This is one of the horses I got.
Mm-hmm. One of the horses I wouldn't mind having, honestly.
Yuyange does have a new mission for me. So that gets me the Leviathon heart, or street.
So I need to get out there to claim that, at least. It's good to know.
Realize? Well, you'd have to complete everything else in order to...
That's what I was thinking.
Plus for everything else. I wonder what the horse looks like for him.
For Leviathan? But all I can think is that some of the stuff from Percy Jackson, the descriptions, or Elsa's Mountain Frozen 2.
It could look like the Knock.
The Nox.
No. It's gonna be Knock or Tempest. And the one for Ron was closer to Tempest.
Yeah. Honestly, Garuda's is very much to what I visualized for Tempest.
And he was described as a dark purple, though.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't realize there was a special animation for taking that boat. Out of Esper Bay. Back to Lindsay.
It makes sense there is.
Different way coming in.
Yep.
I figured, hey, it's cheaper.
It is.
I'll look at the books.
It does say something for Alphino that he remembered the girl's name. That's not like him. The orphan girl. Or the refugee. I won't lie, I will check on Tataru before I log out, because it's sure as hell if I don't, I'll stop the stream and she'll be juggling. Something we've never managed to catch in footage. So I'm hopeful. I'm more worried I'm not seeing her. Ingrid and Gertie's over there. Rosen's there. Hillary Boulder. Delaware. Eda and Plowman. She's not in here. Oh, damn. But everybody needs to say thanks for watching. We'll hopefully see you tomorrow. If not, I'll try to stream sometime Sunday. But for now, bye-bye.
Bye.